Is there a dish that comes to mind that you'd say is the worst thing you've ever eaten in the MasterChef kitchen?
Oh, there is, but I feel bad. It's as close I've been to spitting something out.
Hey Andy, it's great to chat. How's it going?
It is going. There is a lot going, but everything is still going, which is amazing. And always great to chat to the pedestrian peeps.
It is MasterChef season, one of the best times of the year. I cannot believe it is season 18 of the show. Like, does that make you feel extremely old?
It does. Yeah, it does. And I'll tell you what else makes me feel extremely old. The MasterChef social team came up to me yesterday with a clip and showed me something that they wanted to post, which just so happened to be the time that I got my white apron back in 2012, like the actual legit like challenge that I did. And I was like, oh my God. I was like a 23-year-old lunatic from Newcastle that knew very little about food. And yeah, somehow here we are. Here we are.
Wow. When you won season 4, could you have imagined the show would still be going this strong 14 years on?
Oh man, it's a hard one because I feel like it was so much. It was in its somewhat in its infancy, but also like it was such a big thing back then. But like every year, it just continues to like blow my mind. Even the period from when I was a contestant to becoming a judge in that period, like I was still hooked. There was so many loyal viewers, and it does blow my mind when it's 18 years though. Like bloody hell, like not much. Like it gives you a bit of an idea. We've got a contestant on the show this year called Luke. He's 19 years old. He was 1 when Julie Goodwin like lifted the trophy for the first time.
Wow.
That stuff is wild.
Yeah, that is crazy because there's not many shows that make it to 18 seasons, let alone like I think it was 1,000 episodes recently as well. Reality TV history.
Rare. And I think especially in this day and age of like TV, versus streamers versus social media, all that kind of stuff, like to just have like a very loyal fan base, it speaks volumes to like so many things about MasterChef. Like, not only the entertainment factor, but what it can actually do for, people like me who just went on there, in an attempt to change their life.
Talk to me about the new season. Obviously, we're coming off the back of Back to Win. We had 24 returning contestants, but this year it's a whole fresh cast. What can we expect?
Mate, like as much as I always love the returners to come back and like, because I've got relationships with those guys, from being around the MasterChef traps and for them to like, some of them to kind of relaunch their careers again. It's so nice to have newbies, like I feel like it really does just embody what MasterChef is all about is like, it somewhat sounds cliche, but it's legit. Like people that just want to have a crack at living out their dream. And for a lot of the contestants, not Luke, because he was 1 year old, but like they've watched this show and wanted to be a part of it since day one. And for them to like finally have the right time in their lives, because that is like what a lot of it is about, finding that right window in everyone's life to get up the courage to actually fill out that application and get on the show. It really is a special thing having 24 newbies, living out their dream. It's like full of that. Like it's full of the emotions. It's full of the stories of the contestants and how they got there and why they want to be there. But I think this year, like we've really lent into where I suppose a lot of people view their food content from these days, which is social media. So we've kind of lent in a little bit there, which is a new thing for us and an exciting thing for us. And there always will be your Michelin star chefs that come in and really, really put the contestants through their paces. But, having more social media, I suppose people who've got career in on social media platforms, that's been new and really fun.
Yeah, I feel like MasterChef is really good at adapting and kind of introducing these new challenges to fit with current trends. Is there a challenge that always comes up that you're like, okay, I cannot wait for this one? For me, it's the cube challenge. Whenever that comes out, I'm like, okay, here we go. But is there something for you that gets you excited?
So good to know that the cube challenge has been set this year again. So you'll be able to see that.
Okay, thank God.
Yeah, I love the time auction. I love the time auction.
Oh,
So the
okay.
time auction's like, where there's probably 4 sets of ingredients up the front. They've all like been hidden under a cloth, and you basically like have to bid with your time, which is really exciting. And then another one is like ingredients versus time. So the clock starts and all the ingredients are covered up, and every kind of 10 minutes we reveal more ingredients. Yeah, it's just like you start to see the strategy. It's a lot of fun, and we normally get like super epic food as well.
Oh, I cannot wait to watch. This season there's also a lot of epic celebrity guests. We've got Jimmy Barnes, we've got
Yeah.
Robert Irwin. Do you ever get starstruck in the kitchen, or are you just used to it now? Like, you started strong with Katy Perry in your first season.
Yeah,
So does it really get any crazier than that?
Yeah, I mean, Robert Earl was an interesting one. I wouldn't say like, I was starstruck, but I was just so interested because like we've crossed paths at a couple of events, but like I feel like all it did was really solidify and give another reason for females and males to just swoon over Robert Irwin, because he knows so much about food, and he cooks a lot as well. So he's just like constantly ticking more boxes off the dreamboat list, I feel, because he's got a lot going on.
I feel like we need to bring Celebrity MasterChef back just so he can be a contestant.
Oh mate, he would, the way that he talks about food, and I reckon he'd give it a red hot crack. He'd give it and it was actually really nice to hear, because from a guy who's like, he's so like absolutely sending it in terms of what he's doing at the moment. And for him to come in and go, honestly, guy, and like, he calls a spade. He just was like so appreciative that he'd been asked to come on MasterChef, because it's like always been a dream of his. Obviously, being part of the Channel 10 family, he's like, I've been waiting for this. I've wanted to do it my whole life, and now here we are. And it was so nice.
Is there anyone on your kind of dream guest list then? Because I feel like maybe King Charles can make a return to the MasterChef franchise. Who do you want?
Yeah. Mate, I haven't really thought about that. I'm always baffled by like, the creative team. They kind of come out and go, hey, what about this? What about these people? And it was amazing to have Jimmy and Jane on the show as well, because I've had a bit to do with them in the past, and like to see them come in and just be so in love, like it is the most adorable thing ever, and B, just like share so many stories about the way that they go about food, in terms of having an amazing kitchen garden where their grandkids can run about. But I'm kind of deflecting to your question here, because I don't really know. I haven't really thought about it. I might have to throw a couple of curveballs to the creative team and see how we go.
Surely we can get another royal in the kitchen, I reckon. I mean, Harry and Meghan are coming here soon, so if you want to start the cameras again. Yeah. Princess Mary as well. Actually, funny story. I've got it like many moons ago. My sister actually like hung out with Princess Mary, because my sister was working overseas, and Frederick and Mary walked in, and my sister was like, traveling the world, as a bit like she was doing some bartending work at that time. Yeah.
And anyway, like Mary caught on to my sister Carly's Australian accent, and like just fully hit it off. So maybe I can see if my sister's still got Princess Mary's digits, and we can give her a call.
Yeah, you've got an in. You can make it happen.
Yeah.
This is your third season now with the new judges, Sophia, Poe, and Jean-Christophe. What's that dynamic like now 3 years in? I'm sure there's a different vibe than your first year trying to find your footing with everyone.
Yeah, it's the best it's ever been. Like, I kind of feel like it was the same thing for Jock, Melissa, and myself. Our third year was easily our best year. Like you just it does take you a while just to find your place, not just your place, but like your place among the other judges as well. So, and I kind of, in the first 2 seasons, with Jean-Christophe, Poe, and Sophia, I naturally kind of morphed into that leader, and I feel like it's been really amazing now to not have to. Like I love that role, but I also love not having to do that as well, because the other three are just like getting stronger and stronger, and like, you know, they're just weapons at the job, especially this year themselves. So it's been a really nice progression, and to be able to kind of like see them flourish, find their feet, find their kind of their groove and what they're going to bring, and really just hone in on that. It's been really nice.
I want to go back to your first appearance on MasterChef though, 2012.
Yeah.
Firstly, have you ever rewatched the season from when it first aired?
No, I haven't. But what I have rewatched, which I freaking love, is, I won't like put it on your shoulders because it probably wasn't you, but I will. If it was you, congratulations. Okay. Pedestrian put up, when I was announced a judge, 7.5 minutes of Andy Allen making a complete spud of himself on season 4 of MasterChef. And it is literally 7.5 minutes of my most embarrassing bits. And it is pure genius, pure gold.
Okay, I'm glad we're reminding people of that so that they can go back and watch it now.
Yeah. The views, hopefully you get a few more clicks on it these days. Yeah.
Have you ever thought about what your life would be like if you never applied for MasterChef? Where do you think Andy would be now?
It's so interesting because, like, I mean, even just watching, like I mentioned, that little clip of, you know, the 23-year-old me getting my white apron for the first time in 2012, it's such a different person that I see. Like, and I think that this person was in there, but it's taken kind of my journey throughout. You know, MasterChef has been part of my life since that moment. And as much as I wasn't a judge on the show, you know, you'd always be in and around, you know, maybe doing a guest judging role or a cook along or something like that. So it's always been part of my life. And I, without like getting the violins out, I owe so much of like my personality and my progression as a human to MasterChef, you know, like, and I don't think that I definitely wouldn't have gone into I wouldn't have followed my dreams, like, if it wasn't for MasterChef. I would have stayed, you know, in my comfortable job, not loving it, being in Newcastle, and I just like have this amazing life to thank, to thank MasterChef for. I think I'm getting to that kind of that age, you know, where I actually do reflect of like how the hell is all this happened, you know, and that's the one is filling out that application.
I'm curious as well, do you remember specifically what you spent the prize money on? Because it was, what, $100,000 that you won on your season?
Mate, I should never be angry about getting $100,000. The next year it went up to $250K.
Wow.
But
yeah,
no,
damn.
I still for a long time, like, you know, I didn't go out and buy a car. Like, you know, I was still rolling around in my Kia Rio after winning MasterChef. And I did spend a good chunk like buying into my first restaurant with 3 Blue Ducks. You know, so that was kind of money well spent, considering, you know, now we're about to open our 7th venue. So I was 24 years old. I definitely wasted a bit as well. I'm not going to sit here and say I was an absolute saint.
With the trophy as well, obviously you get your name engraved in that iconic piece of gold hardware. Do you get to take that home for the year, or does it just stay in the MasterChef kitchen?
Mate, also, trophy was introduced the year after as well, so I don't know what.
Oh, no!
But the good thing is, these days I get to see it more than ever. You know, at every first step and every last step, I go up, I have a little chuckle to myself, and I was like, "You did that," and look at my name. Which, mate, we're running out of room. I noticed this year, like 18 seasons.
Have you thought about
down,
what the plan will be?
I don't know. I don't know what happens there because there's not much space left. I think once we get to the finale, I might actually count how many more years are left on the trophy, and then we'll have to put our minds to it next year of what it's going to be.
Because they're like circling in the middle, right?
Yeah, so we've done the full border, and now we're creeping up on the inner circle of the full border. So yeah.
That just goes to show me that the original trophy makers didn't have much faith in how long the show would go for.
Exactly
so
right.
Them wrong.
Exactly right. Yeah. Who would have thought that? Yeah, they'd need more than 18 names. Well, to be fair, Billy's won it twice, so
They can scratch hers off the second
Exactly.
time and just put someone else in.
Yeah.
Your season was obviously back in the time when everyone lived in a share house as well. And I'm curious from your perspective of being a judge and a contestant, how you think the share house era of MasterChef impacted the competition.
Mate, yeah, my season was the last year. So I don't know. It's we talk about it all the time, right? Because it's very different these days. And to give you a bit of an insight, like when we say like it was, you live with the other crew, like you live with the other contestants. We're talking 24 like people that range from the age of like 19 through to like mid 50s, males, females, all walks of life. Back then it was a lot more strict. So we literally went from the house to the set, and like we were bound in those four walls. We weren't allowed to go out and have dinners. We weren't allowed to go out because it was all about back then. The show was massive, but also like the rules were very strict. We weren't allowed our phones inside. We weren't allowed the internet. We weren't allowed like TV. The TV wasn't allowed on, because
wow,
yeah, they didn't want us to like I suppose have any distractions. And for a lot of people, that was really that was tough, and it was tough for me as well. But like, it just forced me to like be in this bubble, like it forced me to like non-stop be flicking through cookbooks, cooking things. Like my whole kind of life were those four walls, and then going to the studio. So it was the best thing and the hardest thing for someone like me, because if I, at the age of 23 in Sydney, if I could have gone out and seen my mates and had a couple of beers and like, I would have done that. But there wasn't that option for me. It was literally just like immerse yourself in this experience. So I often think that if the rules were like that, back then, I probably wouldn't have won, because I wouldn't have just gone as head first as I did back then.
Yeah, okay. Does part of you then think it should come back, or it's fine how it is?
I don't think people would cope these days. Like it all kind of went away. They didn't live in a house, but like everything got relaxed after COVID for obvious reasons. And so I think it works well, because it was such a mental, like, I don't want to use the F word, but it was a mind, and I feel it brought the best out of people, and sometimes it brought the worst out in people. Whereas now it is really up to you how much you want to like dip the toe in.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. I mean, I think it's funny how like even though the share house wasn't existent last year, we still got a relationship out of Declan and Sarah. So nothing will stop these people.
Exactly. Yeah. And what about that? Like now they've got twins. Like that's legit.
Are you expecting an invite to the wedding, or?
Look, I don't know. Like I feel like Sarah didn't love the way that I critiqued some of her food. I feel like we've sorted that out since, but I definitely won't be getting asked to do any of the catering. I don't think. But yeah, like, I mean, the thing that I love about them too, and being expecting my first child in any day now, like, they make parenting look way too easy with twins. Like, it is insane. Like Declan has set a really high bar for me in terms of like just making it look a breeze, So I think that they're living their life, and it's so amazing. And they got two cute as hell kids, and good on them.
Yeah. I've just to wrap up, I've got some rapid fire questions, and I'm keen to get your answers. Firstly, is there a dish that comes to mind that you'd say is the worst thing you've ever eaten in the MasterChef kitchen?
Oh, there is, but I feel bad. Yeah, I love the guy. That's why I feel bad.
Okay.
Tommy Fance from like what would have been maybe season 13.
Yeah.
He did this oyster dish, and it was an oyster, and I can't remember I've tried to delete it from my mind. Oyster with buttermilk, fish sauce, chive, dill, and it just didn't work. It didn't work.
No.
It was the one
Okay.
thing, like bland food, like under seasoned food, like you get your fair share of that. But that was one where I was like, that's as close I've been to spitting something out. Yeah, in 7 years.
Okay, yeah, that means it's pretty bad then.
Yeah, yeah.
We obviously know that the judges get served dishes cold occasionally. Is there a dish that comes to mind that became a disaster once it had cooled down?
My dish. I did a dish, and it would have been shit if it was hot, but the fact that it was cold made it even worse. I was in Rome, and we had to go out into we were doing a challenge in Rome in season 4. We had to go out and get like inspiration from like the streets of Rome, and we came across this guy cooking this dish which translated to the insides of a lamb. So I was like the heart, the lung, the sweetbreads, the liver, like you name it, and it was all kind of in the same pan. And I remember, like, because he couldn't speak English, this dude, he was like, he put his ear to the pan, and the translator said, "Oh, you listen, because when you can hear this hissing sound, it's the air like dissipating from the lungs, and that's when you know that they're cooked." And so I was like, "I'll be a legend. I'm going to cook this dish, like my version of this dish." And it was in front of Massimo Bottura, very famous, been voted #1 chef in the world many years. And anyway, he came around. He was like, "I hate offal," which surprised me. And then not only that, but I overcooked the absolute shit out of this offal. The thing just was not hissing, so I just kept it in the pan. And not only that, it was then served cold. So he's like an offal hater with all of the lamb's offal like cold and shriveled up in front of him. And I just, I felt for him. So yeah, the fridge didn't
Okay.
do that dish any favors.
You haven't made it since, I'm guessing.
No, no, no. I'm scarred as well.
Do you often leave the MasterChef kitchen wanting to or recreating any of the dishes you've tasted because they are that good?
I wouldn't say recreate, but mate, I learn every day. Like if you don't learn in that kitchen, like no, you must have the biggest ego in the history of the world, and B, you just mustn't be like you mustn't love food enough. Like there is just so much going on. Like and I learn every single day, and I wouldn't say it's like I don't come home and go, here's that dish that old love cooked yesterday, but like I always store things in the back of my mind that I'm just like that was epic. Like the way that you did that flavor combination, that technique, like that was really cool.
Final question for you. I know you're about to enter this fatherhood journey, but what is it going to take to get you on The Amazing Race or I'm a Celebrity like some of your other MasterChef co-stars?
I think I could do Survivor. I think I'd enjoy Survivor, which is weird because it's probably it sounds pretty gnarly. Yeah, I don't know if I'm into the Amazing Race. I I would say that I'm a good traveller, but I'm not an amazing traveller. And I feel like doing that with a friend, or dare I say it, my wife,
Yeah.
it has the capacity to like create a bit of friction, I reckon, on national TV. So I'll put that one aside. And the jungle, I don't know. As I said, I much prefer Survivor.
Okay, we'll see you in Samoa soon then, I'm sure.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I have my bandana ready.
Very keen to watch this season of MasterChef. Thanks for just taking the time, Andy.
No worries. Thank you so much, Lockie. Appreciate it, mate.